Snow chances look to be increasing for areas of the southeast. Here to give you all the latest information that we have from the overnight to the morning model runs. We'll go over all these individual model runs first, all these fancy snowfall graphics everybody loves to see when they show snow for your neck of the woods, and if you're a winter weather fan. After that, we'll geek out with you guys a little bit, discuss the pattern itself and the energy associated with it, and then we'll get a little bit later into January, where I think the pattern will continue to be favorable for winter weather chances, even for areas of the south. And then we'll wrap it up with today's weather. My name is Mitch. Good Wednesday morning. I hope you guys are doing well. I've had a wonderful week so far. Subscribe if you haven't, like the video if you like it, and if anybody has anything I can pray about or pray over, please drop it in the comments below. Let's get rocking and rolling this morning. So let's go over the latest Euro first, and really this is the overnight Euro. The 06Z is running right now, so I hope to catch the latest information with that. That'll be fantastic. But we're going to start off with tonight. Our system is already working in right now at this second, and I think snow will begin to fall. And it'll be some pretty heavy snow across the mountains of North Carolina, Tennessee, even north into Virginia, West Virginia, and interior areas of the Mid-Atlantic, the mountainous regions, and the Northeast. We'll get some snow flying around across the Ohio Valley too, so we're going to pick up several inches as far south as the Smokies. Now this system, this is our first time frame that we've been talking about for the last several days, but we're pretty much wrapping this system up. We're locking it in. It hasn't happened quite yet. It's moving in, but we pretty much have a good idea what's going to happen with this. So we continue to move forward, and we start to get into tomorrow, into our Thursday. I think we could still have some rain, snow showers across North Carolina. Even though you don't really see it on the European model, it could definitely happen. So we continue to move past this, and then more energy begins to drop down out of Canada. Another reinforcing trough, cold air associated with it, energy associated with it. So we get some light to moderate snow showers. This will enhance some snow off the lakes, and we continue to move deeper into Friday. So this is Friday afternoon. You can already tell there's a little slither of moisture right here across the Mid-South, northern Mississippi, northern Alabama. This is kind of our second time frame. Sunday, which is what we're going to get into, our big time frame we're going to discuss, is kind of our third time frame. I would call this our second time frame. And this is getting into Friday night and Saturday morning. I want to watch this sneaky little system that is uptrended, a little push of moisture out ahead of the reinforcing trough. Of course, we got snow showers up here, but you can see another push of snow into the mountains. Cumberland Plateau could get a rain-snow mix or all snow. Tennessee Valley will struggle with temperatures, a little bit of flurry action Friday night into Saturday, maybe into Virginia, and you continue to move forward. And listen, Southwest North Carolina, an area that's kind of been gypped lately as far as snow, could get some moderate to heavy snow with this. This is Saturday morning, the 17th. Even shows a rain-snow mix into the Piedmont and North Carolina outside the mountains. A little bit of snow up into Western Virginia, West Virginia itself, and then we move forward. And then here comes our next time frame. This is Saturday evening. You see a lot of snow showers across the Ohio Valley, even some snow across New York up to Boston. And then here comes our big time frame that's really starting to get a lot of people's attention, and obviously mine, because I am in the area for this. I'm in Central South Carolina. And here comes the old reliable Euro. And we're getting into Sunday morning, and it is showing snow as far south as northern Florida. It is showing snow, across areas of eastern Georgia, eastern South Carolina, and I want to make sure we have the current run. Yeah, eastern. Let's move forward here. We got a little bit off track. Snow into eastern areas of the Carolinas, and then we continue to move forward and check this out. This is like Sunday morning, and that is a band of moderate snow as far south as Tybee Island, almost into Jacksonville, into the low country of South Carolina, eastern North Carolina. Snow getting all the way up to Columbia, Fayetteville. And it is just a coastal hugger. This is not a locked-in forecast. So if you live in Charlotte, Columbia, Atlanta, or something like that, Raleigh, like, man, this is going to miss us again. Do not make grand conclusions off this. You guys know better than that. This is Sunday afternoon, snowing like crazy in Myrtle Beach, eastern North Carolina. And this tries to turn up the coastline and almost rides the I-95 corridor. So we got to watch the rest of the East Coast for this Sunday night too. And then we're done, and I do want to watch some more energy even into MLK Day, but we pretty much end our time frame there. Now, the 06Z is still running. And I'm going to work my way to that. So hopefully for us snow weather fans, it continues to lock into the idea of this. Now, the GFS is going to get you really excited. It's even more aggressive. Same thing. We start off Friday morning. I want to watch this system. This is sort of our, I don't know what happened there. This is sort of our second time frame. We got some light moderate snow trying to fall across eastern Tennessee, western North Carolina, points north. Even a little bit of snow across New Jersey all the way up to Boston. I don't think that'll be a big event at all, but watch out. The GFS normally has a cold bias, so it shows heavier snow down to the Cumberland Plateau of Tennessee, snow into central to eastern Kentucky, a lot more of an aggressive scenario. The Canadian shows it though too. And then we move past this, and then here comes our next time frame. Look at that snow creeping up in southwest Georgia, and then boom, we get a snowstorm based off the GFS, not a forecast, from northern Florida through Georgia, basically the same areas that got it last year, all the way up through Columbia, Charlotte. That kind of darker shade of blue, that's moderate snow. This is heavy snow. And it just turns into a whopper of a snowstorm across the eastern sections of Georgia, the Carolinas, all the way up into Virginia. And then it rides up the coast and barely misses, but it's close enough to Cape Cod, etc., for a snowstorm. Man, look at that. That definitely opened my eyes this morning. I was walking out the gym and I was looking at my phone, looking at the models, and I was like, yeah, I got fired up. So, of course, the crazy thing about this is I want you to look right here. Technically, we're just about under 100 hours of this system. So, does that make the possibility go up more? Absolutely. Okay, and then we move past this, and the GFS sort of brings something in early next week too, but we'll get into that here in a second. And then the Canadian, what does it do? All right, here it comes. We are getting into Friday night and Saturday morning, and there it is, showing snow as far west as Nashville, a little bit of snow in northern Alabama, and we continue to move this forward. And this is some heavy snow in the western North Carolina mountains, as far south as the northeast Georgia mountains, some snow across middle Tennessee up into Kentucky. I'm telling you, this little event has uptrended. It has uptrended. It showed it a few days ago, several days ago, went away, and now it's came back to us. So this is interesting, and it continues the uptrend. But what about the Canadian with the next time frame for Sunday? Here it comes. It does show some snow flying across Tennessee into the mountains, but it doesn't really show anything in the southeast. Canadian is a whiff. Now, the GFS AI model run, what does it show? It's aggressive with the Friday night and the Saturday morning deal. Not all of that is snow because we don't have a lot of cold air worked in because the temperatures modify after this cold blast on the way over the next couple of days that we'll deal with. But some of this is snow. I'm not going to look at temperature profiles. The AI models on Weather Bell, it doesn't show us if it's rain or snow. We have to look at temperature profiles, accumulation maps. So I'm not going to dive too much into that, but that is our system Friday night and Saturday. And then here comes our Sunday system. It is uptrended as far as moisture. That's a steady strand of moisture moving in. The thing with the AI models, both of them, and even the Icon, is they're warmer. It's a little bit of a different scenario, kind of situation. They're just warmer. So what's up with that? We'll figure that out as we go. The GFS Euro, much colder. Cold enough for snow all the way down to, the northeast Florida coastline. So it shows the moisture, but if you look at temperatures, they're kind of marginal. Low 40s. Enough cold air probably working in a lot, but at the surface, that just ain't going to get the job done. But there is a huge storm system here. And of course, the further north this gets, the more it collides with cold air. And this is turning into an all-out winter storm further up the I-95 core across the East Coast. And then you look at the Euro AI model, and let's see if we have the 06Z, and we do. Let's see what I hadn't even looked at this yet. So we're moving forward. There's that second system. It continues to uptrend. That is some snow right in here on the northern fringe of this. Let's look at temperatures, actually. Yeah, that's snow in some areas. Chattanooga, too warm at the surface. Maybe areas of the Cumberland Plateau. That could be some snow. Mountains of North Carolina and Tennessee. That's definitely some snow. Marginal snow, but it's definitely some snow. And then we continue to move forward. What is it going to show for our big time frame of interest? Here it is, popping moisture. It's much earlier. It's Saturday night into Sunday. So it pops off some energy here, but I guess everything is just faster. And, we get into Sunday morning and it has moisture here. Cold air is working in, but it just, let's look at temperatures here. I don't think cold, yeah. No, it's close. It's colder than the GFS AI. This is the Euro AI, 38 degrees in Columbia. And you look at moisture, where we at? And it looks like the moisture is just heading out. And then we look at one more panel here, and then we look at temperatures here. And yeah, so it's mainly warm. The moisture's there. What about the cold air? What are we doing with the cold air here? And I think it's all about timing, okay? So we'll figure that out as we go. So one thing that we're seeing with this is we certainly have uptrended moisture just overall. What about the temperatures? Now, The UK Met model, we got to put some respect on this, especially if this winter storm ends up happening for Sunday. It has showed it first, and kind of everything else followed. Now, the Euro's always been kind of teasing at it, but anyways, the UK Met, like I said, you know, we've uptrended Friday night to Saturday. We got some snow. This is only going to show precipitation, kind of like the AI models. But I do have a snowfall map for the UK Met. And then the UK Met model really gets a juiced up low, but it's warmer like the AI models. GFS Euro, plenty cold enough. AI models UK Met, you know, is it's warmer, but it kind of has cold air diving aggressively down to Georgia. So it's actually snowing now in Georgia. Columbia, it's mainly a cold rain. Then it's snowing to the Piedmont. But, I mean, just focus on the moisture here. We're going to work out the cold air. I think there'll be a lot of cold air in place, but we'll see. But it is a juiced up low pressure. It is insane how different models are, but we are in general trending towards a more moist scenario. I mean, that's a ton of moisture. You look at temperatures. What we got? I mean, that's 34 degrees. I mean, that's cold air. That's a wet snow in my opinion, regardless of what the snowfall maps show. And then look, it rides up the coastline. That's a snowstorm. So, all right, moment of truth here. And I don't know if we have the entirety of this run. I hope we do, because we might have to go back to it. But this is the 06Z Euro. I've not looked at this yet. And we did this last night when we were looking at the 18Z, and we hoped that it showed kind of a continuation of the trend. Right, so this is tomorrow night, snow flying around. This is the night, snow flying around the mountains, and then we move past this. What about that second time frame? Here it comes, and still showing. Okay, this is Friday night and Saturday. It doesn't look quite as aggressive as maybe the Euro overnight, but shows some snow, maybe in the Cumberland Plateau, a little bit of flurry action in northern North Carolina, southern Virginia, some snow in the mountains. And then we start to move into Saturday morning. And I mean, check it out, man. You got a rain-snow mix. And the Piedmont of North Carolina, it's snowing in the mountains, some heavier snow in West Virginia. What about our next system? Here it comes. And listen, before we move this, you can already see some snow breaking out across Arkansas, snow breaking out across northern Louisiana. I'm nervous, guys. I want this to show something so bad. Come on, man. There we go. Woo! There we go, baby. That's what I like to see right there. That fires your boy up right there. Euro continues the trend. Order the pizza. Just kidding. Not yet. That is a beautiful sight. You want to keep that going. Man, I'm fired up. Got to calm myself because we got a lot more of this video. But man, that is great to see. Fantastic for you. I hope you can feel the passion going through the screen to you. Man, look at the Euro. Yeah, I mean, I live in Columbia. It's kind of a miss for me, but you don't get too worked up over that. We look at the trend. That is a huge snowstorm for Southeast standards, for the Carolina coastline. I mean, all right, got to calm down. Got to work our way through this video. I'm excited, man. It's gonna be a rug pulled out from under us if this doesn't work out. But man, 100 hours out. Southeast Georgia getting snow. Northern Florida getting snow. Look at this snowstorm across the eastern Carolinas. Man, look at that. That is beautiful. Look at Myrtle Beach. Look at eastern areas of North Carolina. Man, that is just fantastic. Fantastic to see. Okay, let's keep on going here. So, bump this. Let's just look at what the 06Z showed. Oh man, look at that. Look at southern Georgia, eastern areas of the Carolinas, northern areas of Florida. That's a beautiful sight to see. I know you guys just got that snowstorm last winter, so I know areas in Charlotte, Augusta, Columbia are like, dude, no way. But we got time to fix this, and I think we can. I really do. Okay, but man, we are close. Let's just take a closer look at this. Man, look at that. It drops over a half a foot of snow in these areas. It is very close, guys. We need to move this axis of snow a little bit further to the northwest to throw your boy a bone up here. But then I'm telling you, this is crazy to see, guys. This is crazy to see. All right, let's continue to move forward. What about the Euro Ensemble? Of course, we don't have the 06Z. It's probably running. Yeah, it is. But, same thing, guys. Just going over the snowfall maps. Let's get calm and composed here. This is through Saturday evening. Show snow in the mountains. Nothing unusual. Snow up here, and we continue to move forward. And then bang, shows the signal for the second time frame. Not overly aggressive, but I have a feeling the O6Z will probably ensemble probably come in a little bit more aggressive. I just don't have it right now. Maybe at the end of the video I'll try to go back to this. But man, what a sight to see here. Yeah. GFS, what does it show? And of course, with the aggressive model run that it had, it shows multiple inches of snow from, I mean, even northern areas of Florida through Georgia, through the Carolinas, and look, even Southeast Virginia. But I mean, this acts as a very heavy snows just off the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast coastline, so you're close. Remember, this is from the couple of time frames ahead of us. This is for Sunday. All right, the GFS ensemble, what does it show? You know, this is the first couple time frames here, and then watch what happens. Boom, the signal blossoms, and the Southeast, Mid-Atlantic, you know, that's your second time frame. Ooh, I got to calm down. That junk got me excited. Got to continue to stay composed throughout the rest of the video because we got to discuss the energy, and that requires just a ridiculous amount of focus. This is the snowfall signal for the Carolinas, Georgia, the Mid-Atlantic, 1/2 inch to 1 inch. It's a solid signal. Okay, and then you look at the UK Met. You notice I told you it was a little warm, but I mean it throws accumulating snow from southern areas of Georgia up to the upstate Midlands of South Carolina and a good chunk of North Carolina. And this is what I'm saying. Like the Euro delivers the heaviest snow right here. The UK Met is up here. What's the middle ground? Hopefully the middle ground's my house. I'm not trying to be greedy here, but man, yeah. But snowfall to the Mid-Atlantic, southern New England. I mean, it delivers over 1/2 foot of snow into Boston. So what about energy? And we're just, you know, going to go on and we're going to flip this and we're going to look at the O6Z. So, you know, we've been mentioning about the first system with the energy. I mean, you almost got a triple phaser trying to come together. This is getting into tomorrow. And I mean, there's a lot of energy across the eastern U.S. And we have rain and snow showers in response to this. But all this energy is really strung out from north to south. So it's not coming together. It's not consolidating. And it's just a strung out mess. Therefore, no deep low pressure develops. And then you got the follow-up energy. Here it comes dropping down out of the Dakotas, the Midwest, into the Ohio Valley. And this is getting into Friday into Saturday. And you can see the energy diving down. And in response, we get a smaller system that moves into areas of the southern apps that we've just showed you, that Friday night into Saturday deal. And then watch this energy right into here diving down. Okay? It's coming down, trying to dig good here, and then we're getting to Saturday evening, we're getting to Sunday morning, and then it goes from this positive tilt, which is like this, and let's explain this real quick. This is a positive tilt, indicating a weaker storm system. When that positive tilt goes to a tilt like this, which is kind of an up and down type deal, that is a neutral tilt. And when that neutral tilt goes fully to that negative tilt, that means we have a strengthening storm system. So you're going to see this trough dig down, has that positive tilt. It's digging. This is the Sunday system, by the way. Then it takes on that neutral tilt right there. And then it actually tries to really wrap up, even though it's not a super strong system at this point, it consolidates here and goes from that neutral, and then it tries to get to a negative tilt here, and it digs properly. Okay? And there it is right there. And we got a lot of follow-up energy behind it that you got to watch. So you kind of saw what happened there. And here's the trend out west with this system. Okay? This is what we're watching. Let's move this a little bit further here. Let's look at, come on. Let's look at the 5-run trend. And let's look at this energy here. Yeah, you see how it's backing up to the west? The more this trends to the west, the more it'll dig to the west. The more it digs to the west, the more it can go from that positive tilt to that neutral tilt earlier. And then, therefore, it can strengthen more so further west, if that makes sense. Therefore, if it's further west, it's over land. Therefore, if it's over land, the moisture is over land, and it could be in the form of snow. And with each reinforcing shot of cold air before this, it sets the stage for snow because you have shots of cold air that kind of come down before this. So This little tick that you're seeing of this energy further west, that's what you want for a winter weather fan across the south. And you continue to get it. It's a beautiful trend right now. And if you're not a snow weather fan, well, I'm not sorry. I'm really not. I'm not trying to be rude or anything like that. But I love snow. And if you don't love snow and it bothers you, I'm not saying it is bothering anybody, this channel might not be for you. You look at the GFS trend here. Now, I want to show you a difference here. The GFS, was ticking west, and then the last run right here, the last one, you see how it kind of bounces back to the east? Well, that kind of offsets that west trend. But the deal with the GFS and why it still pumped out an even more aggressive scenario is because that it took on a better digging motion. Yeah, it didn't get as far back west, but it dug more on the last run, therefore popped off a lot more moisture. So anyways, we talk about the reinforcing cold shots. This is Thursday, tomorrow. I mean, it is going to get cold across the east. Bundle the kids up for tomorrow. Do not think that the weather's going to do the same thing today as tomorrow. It is not going to be a huge change tomorrow. Shot of Arctic air. Low temperatures Friday morning are going to be very cold, and then it moves on out. And then another shot of cold air comes in this weekend, right? And that shot of cold air sort of sets the stage for what could be a winter storm across the southeast. This is Sunday. I mean, for the heart of winter, January the 18th, 10, 15 degrees below average will get the job done, even in the south. And then you have another shot of very cold air into early next week that moves in. And then we could have a moderation period after that. Why do we get a moderation period? Well, this is starting off early next week. This is the pattern in the upper levels. The cooler colors, the blues and the greens you see. This is lower heights, a trough. It brings down cold air, has energy associated with it. Okay, the warmer colors, the yellows, the orange, the reds, that's ridging. High pressure brings warmer than average temperatures. So you're going to see the trough kind of buckle back to the north. And then we have this zonal ridge that sets over the south. That means our storm track will kind of bump up to the north, and then we'll warm up to the south. But I think that don't last long. By the time we get into day 10, you can see a trough dropping back down already, maybe across the central to western U.S., and then the trough repositions itself, okay, further to the east. So in response, you go back to this, you get that warm up, but then everything cools back down at the end of the run as we're getting towards the later portion of January. And listen, I think everything supports this. And if you look at, do we have any fancy model runs beyond 1 week out? Well, you look at this and you move forward, and the euro, it's not really showing much. And then we get this big juiced up low pressure that only affects the upper Midwest as far as winter weather. That fits the pattern, honestly, for a time. And then I think some colder air can drop down. Now, this specific euro run isn't anything fancy to look at. The GFS shows a little bit something different. And we're going to get some wild back and forth with the operational model runs. But the GFS shows something gearing up already by almost this time next week. We have another winter weather event based off what the GFS thinks. And we got a winter storm across areas of North Carolina, upper areas of South Carolina, getting into the mid-Atlantic, like 7 to 9 days from now. Okay, and then it shows kind of a juiced up system around day 10, and the pattern supports this. And then we move forward, and what happens after that, I mean, who knows? It shows a big Arctic front at the very end of the run. But you look at the Euro ensemble after day 7, and you can see how everything kind of crashes down. So, you look at the MJO progression here. We're in phase kind of 6 right now, about to enter phase 7. Okay, let's make this small. Little jumble up right into here. This is kind of where we're at. What is it? January the 14th. We're about to fully enter phase 7. This is the 23rd right here. So January 23rd in about 9 days. Over the next 10 days, we're probably going to boat race through phase 7. Most MJO forecast progression charts show this. And then we're going to get into phase 8. Guys, phase 8, 1, and then 2 down here at the bottom of your screen. These are phases for winter weather and cold across the central to eastern U.S. If we get to phase 8, I mean, no doubt about it, we are going to get cold again towards the end of January, and we're going to have more opportunities for winter weather, even for areas of the south. And if you look at the Euro weeklies, guys, just past the 15-day mark, and we get to the last couple of days of January, that is a strong signal off the Euro weeklies for a lot of cold air dumping down into the central to eastern U.S. And of course, we're going to have winter weather chances with it. And you actually look at, let's look at this. You know what? We're just going to, let's look at this 32 day. It looks dry here, but I'm gonna do this. And you see this, this is what I'm talking about. Let's make it a little bit closer. In the same time frame that trough sort of drops down, it looks like we get a more excited pattern for precipitation. So no doubt, the end of January, I am watching for some winter storms. Where? Well, got to figure that one out. Today's weather, our first time frame's digging in. Model guidance handled this well. We got moisture right here. We got moisture right here. Low pressure cutting out ahead of the main trough. And this is actually going to bring some beneficial rains across areas that kind of whiffed on the weekend system. Cold air dropping down. We got snow moving down the Great Lakes region. Watch as warnings and advisories. Winter storm warnings are up for northern Indiana, southwest lower Michigan. Winter storm watches are actually up here in this area, lower Michigan. Some winter weather advisories in the purple. We got some wind alerts out west. And some freeze watches up across freeze watches. That's weird. You guys haven't got a freeze yet? What y'all doing down here? But anyways, southeast, it's today's weather. I'm actually looking forward to maybe a chance at some rain later this morning in my neck of the woods. We need it. And then we get into the overnight hours. The rain begins to cross over the mountains, and some of that rain begins to switch to snow in the higher elevations. And I think we're going to get some flurries later this evening as far south as northern Alabama. I really do. Even, Nashville, as cold air spills in, and then we'll wake up tomorrow morning to probably some snow showers across eastern Tennessee, eastern Kentucky, western Virginia, up into West Virginia itself. So how much snow? Shows a little bit of snow into the Cumberland Plateau. The Smokies going to get there, several inches of snow. Johnson City, not much. This system kind of trended downward, but the higher elevations are going to run a snowy period coming up regardless. And then we kind of look at this region here. Come on, man, don't do that. That's cool. Pivotal weather is so finicky, guys. Let's see. Let's try it again. Okay, there we go. It does throw a bone to Richmond. A little bit of snow over here. But outside of that, not a big system. Northeast today is quiet start, but moisture begins to move in. It's a warm system, but some snow begins to overspread into West Virginia, western PA, Ohio. We got some snow showers moving in. Rain switches to snow across the southern tier of New York, Adirondacks. And we could get some snow kind of tomorrow morning across the Delmarva Tidewater area. But snowfall across West Virginia over the next 48 hours, several inches of snow in the higher elevations. Lower elevations, maybe an inch or two. We're in losing my voice. Dude, you got to stop doing that, man. Come on. Get it together, Pivotal Weather. I pay money for your site. Western PA, couple inches of snow. Erie, 5-6 inches of snow. And then we look, let's just look at the rest of the Northeast here and see what we show. Yeah, I mean, the interior New England area is going to get a few to several inches of wet snow. Nothing totally unusual about this system. Just winter weather advisory type stuff. South Central U.S. is a quiet day of weather. Don't be surprised. We get a rumble of thunder, maybe even some small hail with these storms in central Mississippi today with some cold air aloft moving in. But outside of that, not a big deal. North Central U.S., big band of snow working its way down. Lake Michigan, going to be a blustery, snowy day across the Great Lakes region, really lower Michigan into Indiana, Indianapolis. I mean, even Detroit, Cleveland, going to get some snow flying around. Look at that band setting up later tonight to tomorrow. And then we got a clipper diving in with more energy setting up for the later portion of this week into this weekend. Snowfall, South Bend going to get between now and 12 a.m. Friday, 1/2 foot to 7 inches of snow. Chicago could get an inch or so of snow. And then we take a look at lower Michigan here. It's probably going to do that thing again. No, it didn't. And this is lower Michigan. Out west, not a whole lot. Ridge dominating the pattern. Positive P&A in place. Just ain't got a whole lot of weather going on. Temperatures, you can see cold air making its way back in. And it's going to be bitterly cold tomorrow across a huge area of the eastern U.S. Western U.S., it is warmer than average. So let's create a timestamp and let's make this glorious image our timestamp. Such a beautiful thing to look at. All right, so Bible devotion this morning, 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 3 through 4. It says, Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of mercies and the God of all comfort. He comforts us in all of our affliction so that we may be able to comfort those who are in any kind of affliction through the comfort we ourselves receive from God. So I put, God is there for us during difficult times. This comfort isn't always the removal of the circumstance, but He will guide us through it. When you go to God, you will be empowered through it then you are able to grow through it. When we grow through these situations because of God's comfort, this allows us to help others when they are struggling. This creates a cycle of comfort that gives God glory. So, hope that makes sense. Hope that resonates with you. Just when we're struggling, guys, we're called to go to Him. And I've said this many times. Sometimes when I'm struggling, one of my most favorite times of the day is early in the morning before everybody wakes up and my drive to the gym. That little 10-minute drive I do from my house to the Planet Fitness early in the morning hours, like 4:05 in the morning. It just seems like the world is still. And that's when I feel like that God is literally right in the passenger side seat with me, and we're just driving along in the early morning hours. And that's when I feel like I'm the most sensitive to hearing Him. And He literally gives me comfort. When I'm going through something, I'm irritated about something, sad, depressed about something, I literally feel so much better in that little drive. And when you gather what you gather from that, you're empowered by it, right? You're able to help others through that. So that's all I got. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hey, let's see if we have the I'm gonna look at this on the fly with you guys. Let's see if we have the what is the 06Z show for us? We have it. Yeah, it only goes out to Friday morning, so we don't have the entirety of the run. All right, guys, that's all I got. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Let's try to reel this one in. I hope we do. Hopefully we don't get Lucy'd and the rug pulled out from under us, but we'll see what happens. We'll do it again tonight. God bless, and we'll talk soon.